I think it's really, really important, especially during our economic times right now, for people to be considering group housing and shared housing, because not everyone is going to be able to afford to live on their own. So no matter what direction you go, whether it is senior housing or recovery housing, there's a lot of opportunities within impact housing, right? Housing that's used for a purpose to serve a specific group of people or help people. And I think that's really where my family just loves to put our effort and focus, is that real estate can be used for good. So I love being able to do that and provide those different opportunities for impact housing. And I think being able to teach others how to do that, whether it's through the book, through our education, is so important.
Hey everyone, and welcome. I am Morgan Gist McDonald, founder, CEO of Paper Raven Books, and I am super excited to bring to us a brand new author, a brand new book. The book is called Living Legacy: Invest in Your Community While Creating Significant Cash Flow. So if you're interested in business, if you're interested in real estate, if you're interested in family businesses with mission and with heart that are truly here to leave a legacy, you are going to want to stay tuned for this interview. Isabelle Guarino, thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course, a huge part of this book is you are the COO of Residential Assisted Living Academy, RAL Academy. It's kind of the acronym that we're going to be using for Residential Assisted Living, RAL. And you're the CEO of that company, as well as the other impact housing companies, right? The impact housing group companies. And so you'll have this huge impact in the housing world and education and buying properties and kind of running these companies. And your father, Gene Guarino, was kind of the initial burst of energy into this company, and you've kind of picked up the family business legacy. Could you tell us a little bit about how RAL and your family's company and mission really got started?
Yeah, my dad really started in this business because his own mother needed assisted living. And it started with that problem. It was a personal, issue he was going through. And it was like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to put her? So he was searching for an option. And he had been a real estate investor his whole life, but he had never done assisted living. And he quickly realized, wait, I'm going to be paying $5,000 a month for her to live in a home, or I could own the real estate, own the business. She could live for free and I could cash flow $10,000 a month. And so he got into this really just with that personal need for his own mother, my grandmother. And I really got to work side by side with him for the last 8 years until he passed last year, and really learned the ins and outs of this business so that I could carry it forward and teach others how to own and operate their own residential assisted living homes. And it's been an absolute blast, an absolute pleasure to work with family. I'm sure not everyone could say that, but I definitely can. And I've really been so lucky and blessed to be able to carry on this family legacy that we have.
So you worked with your dad in the company for many, many years and kind of came to your own perspective of what, it was to build a residential assisted living, set of assets. What have been some of the lessons learned that you especially wanted to share in this book?
Yeah, I think for me, it was about telling my story of how I got to take this experience working with my family and really bring it to fruition to help other investors and entrepreneurs work with their family, whether in this business or other businesses. And I get to really lay out all of the information that I was taught, that I got to learn firsthand from my dad, right? They called him the godfather of assisted living. So it's my story of what I learned, how I saw that be implemented with students. I share a lot of different insight and information and stories of students who went through this journey, who we helped, we guided, we held their hand through it all. And now they own and operate their own assisted living homes. And that's really what's exciting to me, because me having success or opening my own care homes is great, but me being able to teach others how to do this is so much more fun. Seeing other people really bring to fruition their goals and dreams and creating these homes that make a huge impact in their own lives and their communities. It's just a beautiful thing.
Can you share maybe like one of the stories with us, either from your own experience or one of y'all's students' experiences in the academy?
Oh yeah, there's so many fun stories in the book, but I know one of them is definitely about like angry neighbors, right? I share a story of some of our students who had angry neighbors. They didn't want them to open an assisted living home, and how the RAL National Association got to come by their side, help them make sure we get the right paperwork. We ease, the worries of the neighbors and the angry people who don't want an assisted living home, but we invite them in and let them know what this is actually going to be like. And the best part of it all is that many times, and specifically in this story, we find that this happens as soon as they come in and actually realize what it is. They then say, wait, I think my mom or dad needs to live here. And it's this huge turnaround story. And so I share stories just like that and many others in the book on exactly how, our training translates to you opening your home, and then how we help you through that whole process and a lot of the success that we've seen with our students.
I love this because you take what is not, is initially like an objection, right? It's like, okay, there's going to be a problem with this being a residential assisted living, care home in our neighborhood. And like you invite the people into a conversation and collaborate so that we all see the benefits, right? I mean, I think that's the most amazing thing about not only your business model, but like the way in which you and your family, your company really engages in the residential assisted living like industry. And I mean, we only touched on some of the things that y'all are involved in, but you are also, responsible for the creation and success of Residential Assisted Living National Convention, the Residential Assisted Living National Association, the Recovery Housing Academy, Pitch Masters Academy, and a huge contributing, factor of success to the entire Impact Housing Group companies. So you guys have, a lot of not just influence, but like you're hosting a lot of these conversations as a company, which is like you're a real industry leader in these ways. And so I'm curious, Isabelle, like, are there any things that you have learned just like from a broader perspective about like, where is the residential assisted living, industry going? And what are some of the changes that you have seen in your career?
Yeah, I think it's really, really important, especially during our economic times right now, for people to be considering group housing and shared housing, because not everyone is going to be able to afford to live on their own. So no matter what direction you go, whether it is senior housing or recovery housing, there's a lot of opportunities within impact housing, right? Housing that's used for a purpose to serve a specific group of people or help people. And I think that's really where my family just loves to put our effort and focus, is that real estate can be used for good, right? A lot of people have a bad reputation being a landlord, and, oh, they're trying to take all my money and they're raising rents and they don't care about me. But when you do impact housing, it completely eliminates that negative connotation with being a landlord. And it's more about how can we help these group of people and give them the absolute best quality care, housing experience that they could ever want. So I love being able to do that and provide those different opportunities for impact housing. And I think being able to teach others how to do that, whether it's through the book, through our education, is so important. Not to mention, obviously, COVID happened and it shined a big light on what's happening in the big box facilities. And we got exposed that there's so much terrible things happening. It's been really, really bad there. And we've been saying it for years, but no one was listening. And in our homes, we don't have to follow the same rules and regulations that they do. And there's a lot less people in our homes. So we were able to keep them so much safer and protected, and they still got to live their normal, happy lives. We weren't shoving food under the door like you heard about in the big facilities and all this terrible stuff. So COVID shined a great light on what was happening over there and the opportunity over here. We saw thousands of people ripping their loved ones out of big box facilities, begging to come into our doors. And our waiting lists all of a sudden grew like crazy. And this need, the silver tsunami coming, the need for more assisted living beds is insane. Now, with the exposure to the new option of residential assisted living, it's just 10x that opportunity. So I love to be able to share this with people, because the supply and demand is off and we need more of these. And for people who have a heart and they want to make an impact, it's just that perfect combination that ticks all your boxes of what you want, when you want to cash flow, but you want to feel good about it, right? That do good, do well we talked about. So I think it's just so important to have all those things in one.
So good. You guys, if you're here, you're watching, you're listening, and you're like, this is the kind of, mission and business that I would like to know more about. Good news is Isabelle is launching the book, and we are getting as many people to this book as we possibly can while it is coming out into the world. So you can actually grab a free copy of the ebook today. Go to paperravenbooks.com/living legacy, all one word. That will be linked next to the video here. You can just click that link. It'll take you straight over to Amazon. You can grab the ebook Kindle version for free, load it up on your device for this weekend. You can grab any other version of the book that you prefer. If you like physical, if you like audio, you can grab whatever version you prefer. But the Kindle book you can get for free today. So go ahead and do that now while you're here and while you're thinking about it. If you know anyone else who maybe is interested in real estate or this idea of care homes, wants to build a business that really does good work, benefits so many people in the process, then make sure to share this video with them so that they can also hear more of this message and be able to take advantage of the free ebook that is happening today, paperravenbooks.com/living legacy. And I want to circle back to that one quote that just came up again, your dad's quote, do good and do well. What does that mean to you guys as a family, in a family business? When you kind of hear that echo, and I'm sure you almost like hear your dad's voice in there, right? Like do good and do well. What does that kind of mean to you?
Yeah, it's our company motto, and it's really everything that we stand for at Residential Assisted Living Academy. I think it's so important in life that, it's not a bad thing to make money, right? People misquote the Bible verse all the time that, hey, money is the root of evil. No, it's not. It's the love of money that's the root of evil. And so I think it's important for us to know that making money is not a bad thing. If you're not going to give 10 cents of your dollar, you're not going to give 10,000 of your million, right? So you have to have that giving back heart that says, I want to help other people. And that do good, do well is that equal balance of both. It's saying, yes, making money is important, but also doing right by the people in your community and around you and giving back is also important. And residential assisted living gives you that opportunity to be able to do both. I think there's a lot of investment strategies that only focus on the money piece of it, and they focus on how much can I make and what's the cash flow, and that's all they care about. And we're really hesitant to let people into our, training classes or courses unless they show us that they have a heart, that they want to do this for the right reasons, because this isn't just a real estate. This is people's lives. This is a business. These are seniors, and it's really important you have that equal balance. And with residential assisted living, you absolutely can. So we always invite the right people in. Can't be all heart, but it can't be all money. Got to have that balance. So do good and do well. We stand by that all day. And I love that my dad left us with that, and we've been able to make it our company motto.
Oh, that's so amazing. So inspiring. So if someone's curious right now, Isabelle, and they're like, I hadn't really considered, real estate and residential assisted living. What are some of the ways that you might recommend someone sort of just get started and maybe, give us just a tiny preview of what people are going to see inside the book?
Yeah, in the book, I share a whole bunch of fun stuff like the 5 keys to success and marketing tools and information, how to fund your project. But something I really love in the book that I mentioned is the 4 ways to get started. So 1, you can buy land and build a custom home from the ground up. This is something a lot of people in more rural areas love to do, whether it's Texas or the Midwest. There's still land available for purchase. And if you could build a custom, 12, 14, 16 bed residential assisted living home, they are stunning. Our students who've done that, wow, they're beautiful properties. So that's one way to get started. And I dive into that a bit deeper, what that looks like and how to do that. The second way is buying a single family home and converting it to become a residential assisted living home, whether that's through an addition, a renovation, or just chopping up the home differently, on the inside. That's a way that you can get involved in this business as well. And you may have a property that you already own that might be perfect for that one. Third, you can buy an existing business. So you buy the real estate, buy the business, you're up and running, cash flowing day one. 30,000 of these homes already exist across our country today. So there's a lot of opportunity for you to potentially buy an existing one and pay for speed to get it done faster, right? The fourth way, and if you have less capital, this may be a way to consider, is you're leasing the real estate from someone who's already retrofitted, already got it licensed, and you're going to be the operations company paying them to use their property. So if you have less money and you don't want to buy land or build a home or renovate, do all this stuff, maybe you work with a company. And I drop a few informational insights of different companies in the book that you can work with who would be able to lease that real estate to you. So those are the 4 ways that you could get started. And there's tons of tips just like that in the book, explained way more in depth than I can do here with you.
Amazing. Well, I love that you kind of have the spectrum. So I'm curious, I kind of want to, get started. What are my options? It's like, here are all your options from you've got capital and you can build a luxury place, or you can operate something that already exists. I think we forget sometimes that there are businesses where, the owner kind of doesn't want to run the business anymore. Maybe they're going to keep the building, but they would like someone else to come in and operate the business and really learn the business. And you can take that, get some cash under your belt, and then put that cash into further investment. I think that's brilliant. That's just like good business, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So if you guys are interested in this, you're interested in business, real estate, what this could look like for you, for your family. Good news is you can grab a copy of Isabelle's brand new book right now. Go to paperravenbooks.com/living legacy, all one word, or you can just click the link right next to this video. It'll take you right over to the Amazon sales page where you can grab whatever version of the book you prefer. The free ebook is available on Kindle right now. So go ahead and grab that. Isabelle, any last kind of words or thoughts for your readers or anyone who's kind of listening to this and saying, I'm curious, any last words you would want to give to them to inspire them?
Yeah, I definitely think that if you are in the real estate industry, if you're an entrepreneur or you've been thinking about getting into residential assisted living, this book will give you a ton of great information to get started. If you're a young entrepreneur, if you're a woman in business, if you're someone who lacks confidence and wants that inspiration of someone who's gone ahead and done it before you and is able to look back and say, here's my journey and here's how I did it. There's a lot of inspirational stories in there about my journey, to the stage and being able to be on interviews just like this. At one point I would have been like, no way, no cameras, no nothing. So I think there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun stories, a lot of family stories. It's really just me sharing my heart. This is my first book, so I'm so excited to be able to put down on paper, everything that I've been through this point and all the people that we've helped. Lots and lots of fun stories of students who we've been able to work with through the years. So I really hope that you guys enjoy it. And as always, do good and do well.
Thank you so much, Isabelle. Thank you guys for being here. Grab a copy of Living Legacy right now while you're here and while you're thinking about it. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.